All right, guys, top of the morning. Happy January 31st. Coming to you feeling so good, feeling so excited, grateful. I was able to do a presentation for Zillow yesterday in downtown San Francisco. And while we were there, they had an agenda, and then they asked Vernon to close out the entire session, which I thought was really, really powerful. And it's like when I get to see you guys get opportunities to host events, to speak at events, do a keynote, close out a session, open a session, it's exciting to me. And so your guys' success means the world to me. So keep shining, keep doing what you guys are doing. I'm excited to watch every single one of you grow and have a participation with that growth. And I love seeing it. So let's do this. I'm going to have somebody bring us out on the field as always. And I'm looking around the room and I am going to go over to, actually, I'm going to go to Ashley. And I'm so glad that you're here because Ashley, I want to get some thoughts and some insight from yesterday. I know that you guys live casted the Tony Robbins event. I was talking to Ophelia, probably got some really positive feedback and some takeaways from that. But I want you to take us off out on the field. And I'm sure that you have some thoughts from yesterday, and your mind's probably spinning, your heart's probably full, but it's not things that are brand new to you. You've been doing this for a while. So Ashley, I'm going to have you bring us out on the field. So without further ado, Ashley, go ahead and take the torch and let's do this.
Awesome. Good morning. Yes, so Tony Robbins, this is my third or fourth time taking his seminars. He's had such an impact on my life. The main thing that I took away yesterday as a reminder was we naturally go to kind of have our breakthroughs to strategize. Like we're like, oh, we have to strategize. That's where we go. And that's actually the last thing that should fall into place. So the second to last thing, it's strategy, story, the story that we tell ourselves, and the first thing that controls everything else is your state. And the way that you can change your biochemistry, your state, is by jumping up and down, running in place, moving your body, working out, whatever you can to shake up some energy and change your state. That will automatically change the story in your head. So you don't have to work at that. And then once the story's different, the strategy will fall into place. So if you can't figure it out, if your story, you can't stop those thoughts from happening, just worry about your state. Jump up and down, run in place, go work out, go take a walk. Once your state changes, everything else will line up.
Man, I love this. So walk us through that. It was strategy. What was there was three of them. Walk me through that one more
The
time.
last thing is strategy, and that is the last thing, but it's where people tend to go first. The next one is story, because that's the story that we tell ourselves. Those are our limiting beliefs, what is possible, what isn't possible. And where you really should be controlling your attention is your state. And Elias, you embody Tony Robbins' state, and that's natural for you. But for a lot of it's not natural. We have to just be really mindful of, okay, is my shoulder slumped? Am I frowning? Like what's going on with my body? Am I in this sad, like low energy state? And am I going to be productive in that state? If you think about it, like automatically, no, I'm not going to be productive. So you want to get up, jump around, run around, do whatever you can to get your state up. Automatically, you'll notice your story starts to change in your head, and then the strategy will come.
God, I absolutely love this. And it's a really, really good reminder. I'm aware of this, but some people might not have heard this or heard this in this context. But motion creates emotion, right? Anytime you're thinking about doing something, if you see somebody getting ready for a presentation, if you look at Tom Ferry behind the scenes, at Bill Pipes behind the scenes, at John Cheplack, like you could see what they're doing. They're walking around, they're moving their body, they're getting ready, they're putting themselves in state. And so when the curtain comes back, they're ready to go and ready to fire on all cylinders. I promise you, the fact that Jeff is moving right now, if he came into the call without sitting, and obviously he always contributes at a high level, but his state and his feeling is completely different. So I love this. So state, story, strategy. This is really, really powerful. So good stuff. Was anybody else that is here on the call, were they there with Ashley yesterday other than Jeff? Anybody else want to share their contributions, takeaways from that? Because I think it's really, really powerful. I know Jeff might be out of breath. Dominique, I'm not sure if you were there, but who else has a contribution from yesterday? If you want to share, please do. Let's go.
I'm a little out of breath, but I do this 12 and a half incline. I'm doing 4 miles an hour today, so I'm a little out of breath, but exactly right. I mean, and we go down these paths and, we make up the story that we can't do it, or it's going to take too much effort to do it. But if you get up and you move, you change your mindset, you go out for a walk. That's what I do a lot. Get outside, change your mindset, and then start to tackle the story, then the strategy will come a lot easier. So we just need more reminders of that. And that's what you do for us Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. So thank you, Elias.
Well, I thank you guys, because this session is nothing without you guys being here. And it reminds me of a coaching session I was doing earlier this week with a group. And different than our group here, I was, commissioned to help a struggling team out. And I'm asking and going around the room, and this person contributes, and they contribute like this. Yeah, no, so I'm excited about answering the calls. Like, Zillow's been a huge part of my business. And like, what does my state say right now? What does my state say right now? Am I excited?
Full of shit.
Am I not into this?
You don't even like your job. You're like, I don't know why I have to be here.
You guys, welcome to Keep It Moving Group Coaching. We're gonna have an amazing day. Can you feel this? Like, I was like, hey, listen, can you move your hand away from your face? Because this is not allowing me to hear your words. And like, just sit up, put your shoulders back. And I remember Tony Robbins saying this a long, long time ago, like millimeter shifts can show somebody how they can display how certain or uncertain somebody is. Like, hi, good morning, how are you? Hi, good morning, how are you? It's literally a shift in the shoulders back, chin up, shoulders back. Hi, how you doing? Wonderful, welcome. Versus, hi, how are you? Like, you guys, the state is everything. Your energy is everything. Physiology is everything. Motion creates emotion. So really, really excited that you started the session out with this sentiment. Vernon, I gave you some kudos before you had hopped on. And I just want to say that pressure is an amazing thing for each and every one of you. If I'm not applying enough pressure on you, if you are in our environment, please raise your hand and say, Elias, can you give me a little bit more pressure? The highest form of love in business is accountability. And if you do not feel like you're being held accountable to what is important to you in your life, and you need that extra kick in the ass, then come for it. I'm right here. Get on my calendar, then let's go full tilt. And I promise you, I will give you that extra push. But yesterday, we're amongst the top Zillow teams in Northern California, as well as the Pacific Northwest. And we're all masterminding, we're sharing, we're contributing. You're hearing all these great ideas on how people are holding their teams accountable, different things, different training. I thought it was really, really powerful. I did a quick presentation. We heard from different speakers from across the country, or across the state. And then they come up to Vernon. And with about 30 minutes left for the session, to say, hey, can you do some closing remarks? Now Vernon's still relatively new in the game, new to that space, new in his role. And so I look over at Vernon, and he's writing, right? Like, trying to put a keynote presentation together in front of Zillow and all their top level executives. And homie's sitting over there writing. He's writing, and I'm looking at him. I'm trying to bust some jokes with him, but he's writing. And then gets up, and that's a lot of pressure. There's obviously nerves, but you guys, he performed very, very well at a high level, was able to get his messaging across, and it showed Zillow, like, this is a person that we may want to tap their shoulder in the future to do presentations or to deliver a message or a keynote. And so applied pressure is so important. If you guys don't feel like you have enough pressure right now, you guys need to ask for it, walk towards it, throw your hand up more. And you guys, this is a great example. If you're on these calls, you should feel a little sense of pressure to grab the mic and say something. And if you're that person that is always in the background and never saying shit, that means that you might be a little fearful. And that is okay. That's all right. But I promise you, the moment that you just say, you know what? Everyone's looking at me. Oh my God, I got something to say, and I'm going to share this. It doesn't have to be perfect. That applied pressure is going to make you grow. And I just want to give you a shout out, Vernon. I saw you yesterday doing your thing. Really good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about pressure, and then we're going to get into a conversation about the micro. And that's actually the conversation of today. So Vernon, share any thoughts with us for the group.
Man, thank you, my man. Pressure truly does produce diamonds, right? It takes pressure to produce that diamond, that it becomes so valuable, right? What does that mean? That means Take yourself off the mute in these spaces. That means contribute. That means if you have a thought or a contribution and you feel it way in your gut deep down here, don't shut the valve off and keep it tucked. Don't entertain the limited idea, right? Because you never know what opportunities come from contributing. You have something to contribute, each and every one of you guys on this call. Let's start to operate from that space. And if you need a little additional pressure, after Elias kick you in the ass, come on and get on my calendar so I can kick you in the other ass. Let's go.
Well, I appreciate it, and obviously your voice in this industry is really growing, and people will notice that people notice bold in this business, you guys. And listen, you don't have to be perfect at anything that you're doing, and I'll never encourage you guys to be perfect. What I'll always encourage you to be bold.
Yep.
Have a voice. Each of you have a message. And whether it's an introverted message, somebody that comes from somebody that's a little bit more quiet, or maybe you're a little bit more boisterous and jovial, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be an extrovert to be bold.
Yep.
Don't. There's some of you on this call right now that are super laid back. And you know what? That's you. Lean into that. That doesn't mean that you cannot still be bold. So well done. We're going to talk about micro in a second, so don't go too far. But Damian, you had your hand up. Let's go to you. We're going to get right into the conversation for the morning.
Yeah, both of what we've talked about so far with Vernon yesterday, as well as their call yesterday, it kind of connects to what I'm reading in Good to Great right now. It's a book about taking a good business and making the business great. But the analogy that they gave was a bus. And they were saying that you want to get the right people on the bus before you decide where the right place is to go. Because once you get those right people on the bus, they're going to know where the right place is to go. But if you have the wrong people on the bus, then you just might end up anywhere. And so that reminded me, like, we're not all born the right person for whatever it is that we're pursuing, but you set yourself up like that. Like Ashley was complimenting you, is like you've done years of work and training to be the right person for what you are doing. Same thing with Vernon. He's been preparing. He's sitting there writing, so he's the right person for that because he has that state of mind that I'm going to get up and perform. So be the right person for what it is that you're trying to do, and it's more assured that you'll be great. But it just reminded, I just read that yesterday, and this is all lining up. Had to share that.
Well, Dee, I appreciate your contributions as always. And listen, none of us are born great. And I say that maybe your parents had all kinds of, opportunities for you, but we're not born into greatness. That greatness is developed over time, right? That's your responsibility to take all the things that you're learning, to apply it, to be bold, to go out there and to create a life of greatness for yourselves. And so really good stuff. I'm glad we started off on this. I want to talk to you about the micro. And the reason why this conversation is so important is because we're at January 31st. And as we look back in November, we're doing our planning, we're writing our calendar, we're getting deep into our thoughts about how we're going to build our business in 2025 and beyond, and all the habits and all the activities. And I think that what happens is that we start to go when we start to get super busy, and sometimes we forget to look at the micro. And the micro is all the data points within your business that are driving the overall production. And let's keep it very simple. The macro is the goal. Right? Let's say that Princess wants to sell 15 homes. Well, that's the macro. The micro is what needs to be analyzed, because the micro is what's going to help her hit this macro goal of 15, 20, whatever that goal is. And so the first question as I start this out this morning, as we talk about action on Fridays, my question to each of one of you, and sit with the question or put it down in the chat. We're at January 31st. How are you doing? And when I mean that, like, how are you doing with your business, with your fitness, with the task, with your energy management, with your choice management? Like, how are you actually doing so far this year? And I want you to look back, because I don't know for you, but this month has seemed very, very long. November comes and goes. Christmas comes and goes. New Year's comes and goes. It seems like all that time between November and the first of the year is all crammed, and it goes very fast. But I don't know about you, January has seemed like a very, very long month. Is that happening to anybody on this call? Does it seem like a really, really long month? So what I want you to do is ask yourself, how am I doing? And first and foremost, what have you proved to yourself so far this year? From a business, from a personal, from a social, from an emotional level, what have you proved to yourself this year so far? Right? You talked about all of this, you're gleaming with excitement about the new year. You're committing to new habits, new behaviors. You're committed to having a life of abundance. And so what have you proved to yourself 31 days into January? Are you proving to yourself that you're letting yourself down already? Are you proving to yourself that you are not a woman of consistency? Are you proving to yourself that you lack discipline? Are you proving to yourself that you do not have the attention span to keep focused on one task because you're spread so thin and you don't prioritize what is most important? Or are you doing the flip? Meaning that you're proving to yourself that you are that person of discipline, you are that person of consistency, you are that person that tackles every single task that's on their calendar, that you follow through with all of your commitments. So the question to yourself is, what have you proved to yourself so far this month or this year? And let's go ahead, Kelly. And make this a rapid fire contribution because I was on a roll, but go ahead, Kelly.
It's fine. Go ahead.
No. Go. We're here now. So go. What's your
Okay. I just wanted to say that I proved to myself, no matter what the hell's happening at home, my home life is a fucking shit show. But I am here. You wouldn't know that by seeing me every single day. And I'm pushing through. I'm trying to eliminate all those distractions, stay positive, and on my shit. That's it.
Okay. Hey, listen. Thank you for interrupting me. Luis, let's go to you really quick. Rapid fire, big dog. Let me hear from you.
I just want to say, since joining Intensity, I've been feeling fucking amazing. I was a secret agent. I wasn't reaching out to my spirit, but since joining Intensity and actually doing the metrics I'm supposed to be doing, I just feel on fire. I feel like I'm actually going towards the light, if you could say so.
Man, I got goosebumps right now because guess what, Luis? You're running the damn business, and welcome to being a business owner. You are responsible for the sales department, for the marketing department. You are the CEO, accounts receivable, accounts payable. So welcome to being a business owner and pushing the business forward and moving your own needle. We could give you all the tips, tricks, tools, strategies, and coaching, but if you're never applying those things, then you're just coming here and you're listening to this as background noise. So my man, I'm so glad that you're invigorated right now and you feel a sense of, I'm actually making progress on my business. That's what this is all about, bro. Appreciate you sharing. Thank you for interrupting me. And please, if it's something like that, go ahead. You guys take yourselves off of mute. Really good stuff. So we're at the 31st of the month and I want to get into some of the micros because this is all about action on Fridays. What I want you to ask yourself is, based on your goals, how many conversations should you be at so far this month? And if you don't know that answer, well, then you need to go back to your business plan. And so let's just do a simple exercise right now. Take your goal of how many units, how many homes that you would like to sell in 2025. And let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, it is 20 homes that you would like to sell this year. You're committed to that. Hell or high water, you're going to find a way. So let's say on average, Vernon, what do we say, how many conversations on average it takes to get one contract? Do you remember that formula?
Yeah, it was 40.
40. So let's just up this a little bit for the sake of the conversation. Let's just say times 50. So now we got a number of 1,000 conversations that I should have for the year in order for me to get 20 contracts and 20 homes sold, 20 families served. Well, if I divided that by 12, how many conversations do I need to have for the month? And divide that by 4 weeks. Now I know that I need to hit 20 conversations every single week. And if I'm only working 5 days a week, I'm going to divide that by 5. So I need to hit 4.1 conversations every single day. Okay, that's your business. Your business is talking to people and finding the people that are motivated to sell and buy real estate in this market. It's not your job to go and convince somebody of why the reasons why they should. If it's not their time, it's not their time. We're here to educate. We're here to advocate. But if it's not their time, get your affairs in order. I'm going to be here. That's why I keep prospecting. I keep prospecting to find those people that are motivated now. Their circumstances say, I need to move. I need to sell. That's who we're looking for. That's why prospecting should be at the utmost. So based on your target, where you need to be for the year, are you at your target for conversations this month? Share with me where you're at. And if not, what are your actuals? What are your actuals? Meaning the target was I needed to hit 20.8 for the month. whatever that is, 20.8 for the week, 40 for the month, 60 for the, I don't care. What your all numbers are going to be different. That's the target. What are your actuals? What are your actuals? Does anybody want to share with me their math? Because these are the micros that are going to drive your business forward. And I want to have this conversation with you because it's beyond important. Ashley, take yourself off of mute. Share with me.
Good morning. I track appointments. I'm going to start tracking conversations. I track appointments. I want to have 60 to hit my goal for this year. And I currently have 38. So I'm well short of my 60. And so
All right,
yesterday,
so hold on, stay with me, Ashley. So is your number is 60 per month?
60 appointments per month.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
And then
big goals.
so I also want to know, and I guess there's more math involved here. How many conversations do you typically have before you land an appointment?
I don't land the appointments typically, but that's going to change. Usually it's referrals that are coming in, so that math doesn't math. But what my limiting belief I uncovered yesterday was, and it should have been so clear to me, but I just uncovered it yesterday for some reason. I coached sales for 10 years. I don't know if you know that. I coached sales for 10 years. I've been doing sales for over 20 years. I don't know why I haven't just gone out and done sales myself. I walked right into the Safeway yesterday, met the manager, met the whole counter, and talked to them about having a lunch and learn. I'm going to start doing that. I'm just going to go out myself. If anyone would like to join me, I am available to go out and talk to businesses and doing lunch and learns. But yeah, I'm going to start doing that, going direct to consumer.
Okay, so a couple of really cool things here. First and foremost, so your weekly target should be 15 conversations, correct?
Correct.
All right, and so right now, your weekly target right now is far short of that. So you're looking at what, about 7 every single week based on your
Right.
numbers? Okay, so
Yeah.
7 every. So in the realm of possibility, knowing who you are, your experience, the exposure, the people that you know, could you hit 15?
Absolutely.
What is the one thing that you believe is standing in your way? Is it your mindset or is it something else?
It's my mindset. I just need to go out and be more proactive.
Perfect, perfect. I love that she tracks her numbers. So she understands, first off, what is the macro? The macro was the 60 every single month. The micro is the details and the sales process that she is, conscious of. And so I absolutely love this, Ashley. So how do you track?
I have Asana and I put everything on Asana. I do Calendly. So whether the consumer's making the appointment or I'm making the appointment, I make sure it's on my Calendly and then I export it once a week so that I can see all my clients. And then I just copy and paste that into my Asana so that I can track who they were, who they came from, and I can very clearly see how my business is running.
God, I absolutely love this. I absolutely love this. So anybody else want to share what their target is for conversations, where they should be at for 1 month in the year, and what their actuals are? Anybody else want to share? And listen, if you don't know these numbers, these are numbers that you need in order to drive your business forward because you don't know how well you're doing. And listen, if you're in real estate, the number one thing that you should be doing is prospecting that leads to what? Conversations. And if you're not having enough conversations, you're not going on enough what? Appointments. And if you're not going on any appointments, guess what? You're not going to write offers. And if you're not writing any fucking offers, then how do you expect to get an offer accepted and make some money? Does that make sense? So what everybody on this call needs to do is understand what your micros are. The target should be, for example, if I need to hit 20 deals for the year, that's 1,000 conversations a month. Where did I hit for this month so far? Like Ashley said, she's being honest, she's being real, she's transparent. She's behind her target. So that means that next month, she's got to turn up the notch a little bit. She's got to turn up the intensity. Listen, there's no glory in being busy. And you look at your calendar and all you did for the week is you cleared out your emails, you created some social media posts, but you don't have anything that says, man, I actually got face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom with consumers about buying or selling real estate. At the end of the day, that's why we're in this business. And if you can't do that at a high level, you may want to consider a different industry. This may not be the industry for you. Our responsibility is to have conversations that lead to appointments, appointments that lead to showings, showings that lead to appointments or contracts written lead to contracts accepted. Make sense? All right, guys, know your target and know your actuals. Now, I'm not seeing many people throw their target and their actuals in there, but I did see this from Luis. I'm averaging about 5 to 10 contacts a day. My goal has been 25 contacts a day. My skill is low, so my contact to appointment ratio is very low. Okay, cool. I absolutely love this for you. Here's what I want you to do, Luis. Download, and it's in Slack, and or buy this book. I know it seems rudimentary for everybody's on this call. However, if you're a Luis and you're still figuring out what to say, how to say it, why to say it, and the flow and the delivery of your words, then practice from this book. Know exactly what to say for real estate professionals. You read this enough, you practice it enough, now you start to get into a flow. There's people on this call right now that I promise you can close an appointment at any given time. However, that's a learned skill. So Luis, practice this, say these things out loud, and start to work on that. But this would be a really, really good place for you to start. And by the way, if you're on this call and you're a part of the team, this is now going to be in the 30-day checklist. You guys are going to have a downloadable version of this, and you guys are going to go in and you're going to download this and have this. I would have this printed out, folded up, have it in my back pocket, be looking at it, reading to myself, reading out loud in traffic. That's how you're going to perfect your articulation, and that's how you're going to improve your appointment rate when you're actually having those conversations. Buying that book today. Good stuff. Blessing, you had your hand up. And Luis, I appreciate you throwing that in, big dog. Really appreciate you throwing that in. Blessing, let's go to you.
Yeah, I was gonna throw out my numbers. So I know that I need to have 125 conversations a month. I put a big goal out there for myself. I'm doing 30 transactions this year. The book is exactly what to say. There's several courses by Phil Jones, exactly what to say, listen to it. Considering that I only actually had 20 days this month, I hit 70 conversations. I don't know that I've ever been that effective. And I think the learning curve for me, the takeaway is that in 20 days, I had 70 conversations. I am on track to hit my goal. I've already hit my goal for January as far as closed transactions. I'm halfway, I'm set up to hit my goal for February as well. So everything I do in February, I'm actually looking at it. This is my April production. So am I setting myself up for April? And that's like the future thinking is something that's very new. But the fact that I could be this effective in 20 days of January, keep my energy level up, keep my mindset locked in, and balancing everything, I think it's going to be a fabulous 2025.
Blessing, here's the thing. I think somebody might hear 70 conversations in 20 days, like, wow, that's crazy. That's a lot. It's not. Like, it's great, but it's not that much when you just break it down. That's 3.5 conversations every single day. If you're not juggling multiple escrows, if your health is okay, then there's no reason why Blessing shouldn't be able to do that and more. But the fact that she knows where she's at, she knows the momentum that she has in her business, and she's committed to those types of activities, that is the recipe for her to have a really successful year. How is she going to even hit 30 without being able to do 3.5 conversations on an average every single day? And that number is actually lower if you take that to the amount of conversations that she needs to do for 30 days. And so, Blessing, really, really good stuff. Great contribution. Otis, let's talk about the micros.
I first want to just congratulate Blessing because we were at the office yesterday and she was completely stressing. And I told her, my sister, hey, the beautiful thing about this is that literally you can get tomorrow could be a deal. And boom, she got an email that she was in contract. So I just want to share that with people when you're doing your micros or you're doing your daily appointments or doing whatever we're supposed to do on a daily basis. If you're just doing them, it's going to happen. Someone like myself who had just joined Intensity, I talk to people about real estate all day. Funny thing is, like, I go see Gary every once in a while he does his show, and we're all friends there. I kind of all built that station up together as a collective, and then it's kind of good to see how everybody came back and still pushing it. But when I go there, they're like, "Damn, all this dude fucking does is come over here and talk real estate." So it's like I talk real estate on the daily. So hitting the 10, hitting the 20, hitting the 30, even the 70, like Blessing just said, it's really nothing. If you really cherish this profession and you really are about, you know, wanting to push that needle forward in your business, you're going to talk real estate all day. So that shouldn't be nothing. I'm about around like 70, 80 myself, just because I just talk so much. And at the end of the day, I got somebody here with Jacob. I don't know. I kind of came in a little bit 10 minutes late, but we have a guest on the line that we met at an open house doing our metrics, that we just talked real estate and is now here and is severely into real estate and wants to, you know, figure out where a landing spot is. So Samirna is on the call. So just wanted to give her shout outs to coming up. We got set an appointment with her to, you know, one day this week hit it, and she obviously was able to do it today. So as you're doing your metrics with the intensity, or if you're not in intensity and you do your daily metrics, maybe twist it up a little bit and spending more time on having those conversations. I think that's great what Ashley's doing. What I'm starting to do now is I've been opened over the last few weeks about my agent downline. So what I'm doing now is a career day at all high schools and all colleges around the Bay Area to try to drive people to get into my downline, because I know if you're reading the masses, like every 100, it'll probably be 10 to 5 people. So just figuring out where you want to be, because this profession gives us so many branches off of the tree to go to. So just really focusing up on where you want to be at and what's your end goal or whatever goal it is, so you can spend time doing that while you do your your micros. It's all going to add up and you'll find yourself somewhere faster if you're just doing it.
I love it. Really, really good stuff, Otis. And you know, I'll continue to say it. And if you don't like hearing it anymore, then shut me out. But I've seen something change in you, man. I've seen this, you know, something turn over the last few weeks, man, last few months. It's been really beautiful to see. But I'm going to turn it over really quick to Vernon. I'm going to step away for 1 second. Vernon, this conversation was brought up to you yesterday, that you need to focus more on the micros. And so when you heard that, where did your mind go in the context of the leads, but then also where did it go in the context of your own business? I'm going to turn that over to you for 1 second. Go ahead.
Yeah, man, that absolutely. Yeah, the Zillow, I was the Zillow manager, one of the executive leadership. We had lunch together yesterday at this mastermind piece, and I always want to learn to get better. And so I would assume that all of us are in this call investing our time at 9:07 in the morning because we want to improve. We want to sharpen our skill sets, right? So I'm always a student. Although I'm a coach or producer, whatever, I still come from the perspective of a student. So I asked Audrey, what do we need to do different? What are the other top producing teams doing? What are my holes in our system? What am I missing here? And she said, Vernon, you need to get more micro, right? More specific in terms of the coaching. And it's not a I'll see you next week. It's a show me your receipts in the next 12 hours of what you've produced from this conversation in terms of your systems, right? Like really getting micro and adding, when I compound those micros for the team, as if you're on the Zillow Flex team, we have just hit the gas, okay? And you will get a full dose of what I'm talking about on this coming week. Anyway, how does it pertain to my business? I'm in this coaching realm, which is a new lane that I'm operating in, and I'm still in production. And so for me, my micros are specific for production, which I'm in escrow for my second deal in January. Be submit another offer for February. So I'm on track there. But the coaching piece has different metrics for me in terms of conversation, just more so being in the types of rooms and opening my mouth and being led, right? But the micro compounds and creates this macro, like Otis said. So that was the feedback for me. E. That was the impact on me. I need to be very specific and granular, and even more so than what I thought that I was, right? Because we may think we're micro, but we really macro as shit, right? Because we don't really have the true steps identified and what those micros look like the conversations that you have to close however many transactions you want to close. So that's what
I love it, Vernon. This is why, you guys, this is my recommendation for everybody. Everything you do communication wise, correspondence, text, emails, videos, everything goes through Follow Up Boss. And the reason why is that way you can look at all of your micros to see, am I actually doing enough work to support my macro? Also, if you haven't signed up for Sisu, sign up for Sisu. It's free. You have a huge tool that's free for you to track all of your behaviors and all of your activities. And then 3, internally, you guys should go on the home tracker every single week and track your activities, right? If you want some true accountability in your own business, then come towards it, right? Come towards it. The people that don't want accountability will never step forward and will always be like, oh yeah, I did a few things, but no way for me to look at it, but no, I'm busy. Really? Show me. Pull up your database right now and show me. When you say you're busy, show me. Oh, I've been wanting to do social media. Okay. Show me the videos that you've created in the last 30 days. Oh, no, I'm going to. I'm going to get my social media up and running. Fucking win. Win. So it's like you think about all these micros, and I'm going to give you a quick example. And I pulled this up because I think this is really powerful, and we don't talk about it enough, and we're going to start talking about it more. So a couple things I want to share with you guys here, and this is reporting, and I'm going to go to leaderboard. Check this out. So if we look in Follow Up Boss right now, and we look at what our leaderboard is, and what's cool about that is I'm going to go to everyone. Let's go here, everyone. You're going to see some of the names that are actually on this call right now. We will remove Samantha because Samantha is our ISA, but you can see all of her activities. Number 1 and number 2 right now are Kelly, and Patrick. And when we look at this and how this leaderboard is comprised, Kelly has phone conversations lasting 2 minutes or more. So she's gotten 1,100 points for that. 40 call attempts, 40 times 10, 400 points, 613 text messages, giving her 1,226 points. And then look at all the emails. And then you could see Patrick's numbers as well. The cool thing about this is that you guys at any given time can look at this and say, how well am I actually performing? How am I diving into my database? How many calls am I making? I can pull this up per agent and look at per agent productivity and say, okay, let's just take anybody, but this is everyone, for example. I could look at this and say, okay, here's the new leads that we've gotten in the last 30 days. Here's currently assigned leads. Here's how many calls we've made, emails we've made, text messages are down from the month prior, how many notes are in the system, how many tasks have been completed. That's up 14.6%. How many appointments have been set? How many appointments have been met? All these things. And what I did is I'm adding a couple new categories: conversion, average text message attempts, average email attempts, average call attempts, average contacts. So I've added a couple of metrics, and I just added those this morning. The point is that every single one of you is able to look at your metrics and look at the amount of activity that you're doing and saying, does this match up to what my macro is? If you guys aren't using this to your advantage, what we're all doing is we're missing an opportunity. And I am allowing you guys to not hold yourself accountable to what is really important to you. Each of you have an ability to change your life and change the lives of somebody else. And if we're not diving into the macros of each of our businesses, I'm letting you fucking down as a coach. I'm letting you down as a coach. So when we go into these things, you have my commitment that we're going to get further into your micros, because the micros is what serves the bigger purpose, and the bigger purpose is the macro. But if you have this lofty goal, if you have this idea of you wanting to change your life, and then you come in here and I can't see any of it, I'm going to call you out on your shit. I'm going to call you out on your shit. If Michael McIntosh says, I want to change, and I'm not picking on you, Michael, I'm just using it as an example. I want to change my life. I want to put my family on. I want to help my mom. I want to do this. I want to serve. I want to serve 25 families in this year. And then we go in here and it's 0. Share with me what you meant, because I don't feel it. I'm not connected with it. And I don't see any of that supporting the goal that you just told me was so important to you. Show me your receipts. And the receipts are the micro activities. So I want you guys to be able to look at this. Any given time, we can go into this. I could look at the appointments. I could look at how many calls we're making. I could look at the overview, everything. So I think it's important that we are doing this, but you're also doing this on your own. You're putting everything in Follow Up Boss. So you can look back in 30 days and be like, damn, look at how much I was able to do. Look how many calls I was able to make. And now that I've added the conversion piece, you could see how many calls, how many appointments, and you could start to look at what your conversion is based on the people that are in your own database. Does that make sense? Any questions on this? Cool. I want to share something with you because I think that it's really powerful. I don't know why I haven't seen this before, and please help me out if you've seen this before. And if you're not on Follow Up Boss, bear with me. So you Otis, you, Princess, you, Sarah, are going on an appointment. Kyrell, you're going on an appointment. And you are going on either a listing appointment or a buyer appointment. And what you do is you go to this property segment on Follow Up Boss, and it's just right here. And what I want to do is I want to see what properties have the most increase. Now, if I want to look at what houses or what property had the most increase, and I know I'm showing a house 3 blocks down the road, Kyrell, why is this information important to you if you're representing a buyer? Knowing that this property has 14 inquiries and it's 3 blocks down, why is that information to you important if you're representing a buyer? Kyrell, answer that question.
I'm sorry, Elias. I'm actually in the middle of a text message for this client that we have in escrow. So,
all right, do you think? Let's go, Princess. Same question to you. Princess.
Repeat the question one more time. Sorry.
All right. So you are writing an offer on a house that is 3 blocks up from 515 Athens Street, that based on this has 14 inquiries over the last 30 days. So it's a hot property. People are looking at that property. You have a buyer that wants to purchase a home in that same area. How would you use this information when communicating with that buyer?
Well, I would just leverage just the other inquiries that we can look at. I mean, we have one that's 4 inquiries. That's not many, but just keeping that as something in the back pocket to possibly be another inquiry for that client.
Possibly. And I like the way you're thinking, but I want you to think about this in the context of, I want to be able to display popularity of this area. I want to show not only based on the comps, but like real-time activity that, hey, there's people that are looking at houses. So if there's more people looking at particular houses in this neighborhood that are 4-bedroom, 2-bath, what do you think it's going to do to competition? It's going to drive competition upwards. So I want to prepare you for that because I know that we're going into a very, very competitive area. So when it comes to our offer amount, we're going to base that on what the market is telling me, not my opinion. Does that make sense, Mrs. Buyer? Now, Princess, let's flip this. You're going to a listing appointment in that same area. How would you use this at the listing table?
Well, then I would take this and show the seller that, hey, look, you have competition. There's competition. There's people that are looking in your area, and just show the value of, like, you know, what that would bring for them as well. Because your house could also be one that has 14 or even more inquiries. I mean,
and this is just our data, and this is just our database.
Yeah.
Right? This is just our database. And this is not even saying the entire industry, but if 14 people went and checked out Athens and say there was multiple offers on it, well, they can only accept one offer, Mr. Seller. That means that all those other people that didn't purchase that house, they're in that local market. So our strategy has to be super, super important as we enter the market, knowing how competitive it is. We want those people to come to our house and start writing offers on your property. So really good stuff, Princess. Let's go to Blessing, and then let's go to Otis.
I had a question about this. This is our database connected to Real Scout, I'm assuming, to get the live data of who's looking, right?
Correct.
So the importance of connecting Real Scout to Follow Up Boss is what's gonna drive this data, right?
Correct.
This is really cool because this is in Real Scout, but the fact that it's connected to our active database, it's just it's another game changer just to show what's happening. Really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And if, you know, we can drill down on this, but once again, you guys, the reason why we're having this conversation is this is about the macros, right? I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to web leads. I think I could change this to Real Scout. Let's see. No, I don't know how to do it right now. But anyways, I'll show you guys offline. You can source it to say Real Scout to see how many people are actively looking. But the idea is, I didn't ever even know this existed. Vernon and I saw this yesterday and like, damn, this is fire, right? I could use this when I'm at the listing table, but I could also use it in my buyer's consultation when I'm showing them a heat map of where activity is in just a, you know, pocket area of Brentwood or pocket area of Danville or wherever you are. Otis, let's go to you really quick. quick contribution.
I was looking at that, and I was telling people, like I tell Jacob all the time, it's kind of like your cheat sheet. Like I was looking at my chops because I wanted to kind of tone in before Princess finished it off, and she did a excellent job with both buyer and seller. But I would also take it as a tool for you as an agent. If you know there's 14 other possible parties that's looking at it, and if you're seriously writing an offer for that client that has to have it, you do have to have that conversation with them. Like, hey, Elias, there are 13 other people, including us, looking at this house from what the data shows me. And you always want to say data because you don't want to make it seem like it's coming from you, or that's the reason why we're having that, right? Because they're contesting the market. At the end of the day, though, it gives you the information that you need to know. Picking up the phone to call the listing agent, hey, Elias, I see you had about a lot of people over there. What is your seller's expectations? It starts that conversation instead of writing blindly. You should always tap in with the listing agent, whenever you're writing the offer, but that's something even more so because you don't want to waste time on like that, and you don't want to lose the other possibility of the homes that your buyer's looking at. So that's a great tool that I've been using for a while. And also another one is when you're doing your cold calls or your follow-up calls, they have all your recent just seen homes off to the side on the bottom. So that's the easiest conversation starter. Hey, Elias, I seen you were looking at 123 Main Street yesterday. I seen that you've looked at it about 4 or 5 times now. I know I said I wouldn't give you a call unless you were back actively looking, but it looks like you're doing that. So Follow-up Boss is very, very instrumental in my business. I love it. I spend mostly all my time on there. So I think this is important information that you guys really need to take in and see what kind of tools that you can be using to help, sky pass your business into the atmosphere of somebody else that's not doing something like this. So Follow-Up Boss is really good. So deep dive into it.
Yeah, you guys, if you look at your Real Scout numbers and versus your Follow-Up Boss number, I think that those numbers should almost be a match, meaning how many people you put in Follow-Up Boss should be in Real Scout, and you should have their criteria. Even if someone says that they're not ready, that's okay. I want to see how they think. Then the only way that I'm see that how they think is if I've put them in Real Scout. Now I can see all their analytics. Now, somebody might tell you, because they're placating you, that they're not interested, they're not ready. But all they do is they look at houses every single day. Something changes. People come into money. People pass away, unfortunately. People inherit opportunities. People inherit assets. And so that changes things. And so the consumer will tell you all day long that they're not interested in moving forward. But at the end of the day, are they interested in throwing away money on rent every single month? No. Things change. Circumstances change. So it's important that we know that pattern and that rhythm and that consumer behavior, and then we respond accordingly. So if you're looking at your Follow-Up Boss, just go to properties. You guys can search here by which property has the most inquiries, which zip code has the most inquiries. And it's also great if you're looking at this, if you have people that are looking in a certain area and you have an off-market opportunity, that's a really, really good campaign. Hey, Blessing, one of my team members has an off-market opportunity. We know how important it is. I know you've been looking in this area. Competition is really scarce. We have an opportunity for you. You guys leverage the shit out of this report. But the premise of this conversation is to be able to look at all the micro details of your business. You guys should be on some level super, super analytical about your business, because every single lever is going to drive the production forward. And if that means that you become a mathematician by looking at your business, looking at your micros, then so be it. I want the best for each and every one of you guys, but you can't track anything or you can't measure anything that you don't track. So become a beast at this. Become a beast at looking at all your micros and not just running around crazy. That's why intensity has success. Every single person has to track everything that they're doing. And you get people that have never tracked anything. Now we're tracking for 6 weeks. And now those behaviors continue on and on and on. And so I'm going to pause there. I'm going to go around the room, get a couple key takeaways, especially from people that are guests. Let's go, Ashley. I'll go to you for a thought contribution takeaway.
So I saw a study that was done by NAR in 2023 that pertains to this discussion. 72% of home buyers interviewed only one real estate agent before deciding who to work with on the buy side. And the sell side, 82% of home sellers only interviewed one real estate agent. So that means whoever's in front of them when they're ready is the person they're going with. So that's just another reason to ignore them when they say, oh, I'm not ready. Like, still follow up with them every month or two, because when they are ready, if you're the person they're going with. Statistically, 72 to 82% of the time.
You know, I absolutely love this. And Vernon and I spoke about a statistic yesterday. Does anybody know what the percentage of consumers that bought a house from a realtor in the United States of America, what is the percentage that go back to that realtor to purchase their second property, third property? Does anyone know that statistic?
17%.
It's 12 to 17%. Why? Because realtors do a horrible job post-sale, not all, but some, making sure that they're front of mind. Remember when you first got the lead? Ooh, I'm going to reach out to this bro. I'm going to text this person. Got this new, and then they close. And a lot of times people don't have a post-sale plan that allows you to have a consumer for life. We fall short. So you think about this business, like I want to be a part of anything that is real estate related from now until the end of their life. That's my goal. But if they forget about you, they don't get your newsletters, they don't get a hello, they don't get a quarterly gift, they don't get a phone call, they don't, hey, how you doing? I saw something on Facebook, how's everything going? Then they're gonna forget about you. And you will be part of that majority. I don't want that. I want you guys to be extraordinary in life and business. Let's go to a couple other key takeaways. I'm gonna go over, I saw one of our guests on the line, but I wanna make sure, Josh, are you still here? No, Josh had to go, I think. I'm gonna go over to, let's see, Jacob. Jacob, key takeaways from our time together today.
So you actually gave me a golden nugget with that follow-up boss thing. So that's the thing that I took away today, and that's something I'll be using 1,000% because I have so many buyers who are just they'll love a house and they'll want to write asking price or like lower than they should, and I feel like that'll be a good tool to like get them to like write higher.
Good stuff. Good stuff. George Martinez, let's go to you. Key takeaways from our time together today.
I think the biggest thing that I took away is definitely tracking your numbers a lot more. I don't track them as precise as I should. But I think if I were to start doing so, it definitely would take me to the next level and kind of definitely really organize your business. Because you said this time and time again, like if you were to end up on like Shark Tank, like how would you end up quantifying your business? And it's very true because I think once we actually run our numbers, some of us might be surprised to find out like, oh shit, my business isn't a business. I'm just running blind and not really doing anything. And I'm actually in the negative, if anything. So I think if we really want to quantify it, especially myself, that's definitely something I need to like get out of my own comfort zone because I think that's the one thing that like most of us forget and kind of shy away and like dwindle out of real estate is that you come into it thinking it's like a job, but at the end of the day, you're the CEO, you're the accountant, like you're literally everything. Like when I set up my S corp, they're asking you who's the CEO, who's the board member, who's the secretary, who's the treasurer. And as I was filling that out, I'm like, oh shit, I got my bachelor's in communications and I got my real estate license. I'm not an accountant. Like when it comes to the finance part of my business, I know that's not my strong suit. So I think that also allows us the opportunity to find out like, okay, this is my strong suit, this is not. And then in that case, you have to realize like, well, if that's not my strong suit, then I have to hire it out.
Yeah, love it. And George, talk to us about your overall production last year. What type of production did you do in 2024?
Yeah, so last year I sold I helped 19 families, and then I did about a little over 14 million in sales. And honestly, I will tell you, I did get burnt out the last quarter of the year, but I think that's just mostly because I also didn't really, this is something I didn't really focus on last year as my business scaled a lot faster than I realized, is actually going back and implementing these systems, knowing your numbers and really quantifying like where your deals are coming from and really supplementing that. Like, okay, if they're not coming from social media, well, then I got to get them from somewhere else, which is like open houses. And I think that's what I look at looking back last year is like just finding a consistency in just lead flow as well.
Yeah, I love it. So you guys know your micros. The micros are what is going to help you get to your macro goal. So be finite about those numbers. Look at your numbers every single month and say, am I on track right now based on the amount of conversations I need to have in order to hit my target? And if not, then I have to change some things. I got to make more calls. I got to have more conversations, go on more appointments, show more homes, write more offers, get more offers accepted. You guys, it's a formula. I didn't create this formula. I'm here to support the formula because I know it works. So you guys guys, get out there, take action in your business. If you need anything at all, let me know. And if you're the type of person that's on this call, you're not in production yet, maybe you're having some struggles, I'm going to encourage you to get on my calendar. Call eliasastuto.com, book a coaching session with me, and let's go full tilt in your business. Let's get a little closer. Let's have some more intimacy. Let's have some real conversations and see what I can do to help serve your business and take it to the next level. That's my commitment to each of you. You guys have an amazing weekend. If you need anything at all, please let me know. For those that are going to be at our intensity call today, we have a guest speaker. Her name is Lindsay Stevens. She is a marathon runner. She is a coach. She is a leader. She is a team leader, and she's just an amazing force to be reckoned with. And so I'm excited for her to tap in. And listen, you guys, if you wanted to hear Lindsay speak, feel free to come to our session at 11 o'clock. It's the same exact link. But you guys, in the meantime, keep it moving towards your dreams, goals, and vision. Don't let anything or anyone take you off that course. Peace.
Let's go.